This comes up all the time, and parents ask me, my children fight, what should I be doing? Should I leave them to it? Should I interfere? Should I separate them? So we're going to cover a few of these topics now. So sibling fighting is rarely about what they're fighting over. So whether that be the toy, the game, the seat, for example, or their turn at having a go. It's really a competition of safety, feeling safe within themselves and feeling regulated, attention, which is primarily your attention that they're competing for, and that regulation, then feeling dysregulated. So what children may experience is shared stress. So as you know, if one child is dysregulated, the mirror neurons are going to pick up with the other child and they're going to be dysregulated too. So it would be very hard for one child to remain calm whilst one child is fighting over something that child may be using. They're normally going to retaliate, and that's when the conflict starts to arise. So you've got the two children starting to fight. So it becomes a shared stress then. So they're both dysregulated, one is following the other, and that's very normal. There's also that comparison between the two of them, that they might find that one child is comparing themselves to the other child, and then that can escalate as well as they have such a limited capacity to self-regulate at this age independently. So without you being there to help co-regulate, the situation normally escalates, they're fighting, and that can also lead to hitting each other, to violence, to abusing each other verbally, depending on their ages and their capabilities. But this is where things can get really escalated, really heated between the siblings that are really primarily fighting or competing for your attention and for safety and regulation. Okay, parents, so this is where you come in. So your job is not to decide who's right in that moment. We don't walk in there and say, okay, I want to find out who had the toy first. It's really to lower the intensity of what's going on. So step one is to regulate yourself first. That's the primary goal here. Make sure you are regulated. And that might be just taking some deep belly breaths with some longer exhales, breathing in deep into the belly, and then some really slow, longer exhales, just to really calm yourself down. And then you're going in to slow the environment, de-escalate the situation of what's going on. Now at this stage they might be arguing, they might be fighting, they might be hitting each other or screaming. That's very normal. You're going in that calm state, and what your job then is to do to separate the children, separate the bodies, and we're going to do this before we're going to solve the actual problem of what's gone on, what's triggered this. So we're wanting to make sure both your children are safe, because kids can be physical, they can be violent, and so our job here is to separate the kids. Okay, so we're making sure they're safe, and we're not going to talk a lot, because we've talked about how that can, when they're in this stage, it can really overstimulate them, and as you know, logic isn't going to land. So it's very important to not talk too much, just use a few words, but make sure that they're separated, because safety definitely comes before finding the solution for them. So after your kids have been separated, they've calmed down, they're feeling regulated within yourself, that's a great time to talk and to discuss what's going on or what had eventuated, and reason it out between the three of you or whoever's involved. But it's very, very important that during that moment that you're not over talking with them when it's actually happening, you're not lecturing them, and you're not asking for logic too soon. So you're not, in the midst of that meltdown, you're not saying, what's going on, why is this happening, stop this behaviour, by lecturing. You are really there to regulate yourself, separate the kids, Wait till they've calmed down, and that's when you can amend things and discuss what eventuated, what happened, what unfolded, what we're going to do about it now. Also make sure that you're not reacting from your own exhaustion point, because if you start reacting, well then it's really like just bringing a third person into the mix, and then it's just going to be the three of you fighting it out. So as you would know, or for a lot of parents, most of us were taught to correct the behaviour first. So we're going into that situation and we're correcting them. Don't do this, don't do that. The first thing I would like you to remember is the importance of safety, separating the kids, letting them calm down, and then dealing with the situation. Because connection actually calms faster than correction. So if you can connect with your kids, then you'll be able to correct and have that discussion, whatever it is that's needed. So after you've separated your kids, it's very important for them to be able to re-regulate as well through your co-regulation, so through you. So once everyone is feeling calm, again, that is the perfect time then to have the talk, then to discuss what eventuated and figure out what the next move is going forward. And the more you do this, the more that becomes the routine, and the more easier it's going to become, because they're knowing that that's what's expected as well. So just know that whether it be sibling fights or the bedtime routines that we talked about earlier, you are doing a great job. Your job is to regulate yourself and be there to support your child in whatever capacity or whatever form that they need at that time. So in my next video, I'm going to talk more about parents, for you, how you can regulate yourself. We'll be going into techniques, and this is especially when you're absolutely exhausted, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you just feel like it's too much. I'm going to give you some really basic fundamental techniques that you can implement anywhere at any time, whether you're at home, whether you're in a shopping centre, whether you're at work, whatever it might be, that's just quick and easy and really helpful to help you self-regulate. Thank you.